Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. We've got a big day ahead of us here today. Just come in the barn here to check on new mama and her baby that was born yesterday morning, actually, while I was at work. Speaking of work, I haven't made a whole pile of videos here recently, and that's because I was away at work on business out of town. And some stuff has unfolded while I've been gone that is very, very unfortunate. So if you watch for any length of time, there's a familiar face here on the videos, and that's old Ben, the LGD, the big Great Pyrenees dog. And he's done a wonderful job here on the farm, keeping us safe from all manner of predators. But the day after I left, he disappeared. So we had a big snowstorm come through. We could see him on the security camera by the house at about 8 o'clock in the morning, right after Carmen left to take the girls to school. And then that's it. Radio silence after that. So we come home, we've searched the whole property. And he's not the kind of dog that would leave the quarter section. They would go through the neighbor's place. There's an acreage that's cut out of our place. And last week there was an altercation between, it was 2 weeks ago, sorry, an altercation between our dog and their dog, and there was some back and forth, some ill will, let's just say, that went back and forth. And then suddenly the dog disappears when we're not home. Seems a little bit fishy. The neighbor swears he didn't have anything to do with it and hasn't seen him in 3 or 4 days, so you know, it just leaves that sour taste in your mouth, because it's like, I wish if you did something, you'd just have the courage to tell a guy that you did it, right? Because now just the fact of not knowing really leads a guy, so that all the love you had for that dog has now been transformed into hatred for whoever did something to my dog, right? So just a bad deal, because that's a beautiful dog, very valuable dog on the farm, and big shoes that we certainly won't be able to fill anytime soon. But that aside, you know, it's unfortunate. We've searched the whole property. There's no sign of him. We know he's not in any of the neighbors because nobody said anything. So, I mean, I got a pretty good feeling of what happened there. I just, you know, can't prove it, so I got to kind of move past it, unfortunately. But anyways, as I said, big day here on the farm today. So we're going to tag and band this one lamb. We have to prep for arrival of weaner pigs this afternoon, and we also have to prep for arrival of chicks on Tuesday or Wednesday, someday early this week, early to midweek. We're going to be having our layer chicks as well as turkey chicks arrive from Miller Hatcheries. All right, well, it's after lunch here now. I'm in the little chicken house, the one we use as a brooder. I got some fresh shavings put in here. Got a couple of heat lamps on. Looks like I got the temperature up to 24 degrees Celsius in here. So it's reasonably warm. It's not nearly as warm as what it needs to be. I want to try and get up to about 30 to be successful. Now, I worked on the chicken house first and haven't even got to do anything pig related. Just because the guy that's got the pigs is a bit of a... Well, I think he's maybe got a lot on his plate. You know, I can sympathize because I got a lot on my plate most days. But anyways, it's a bit unorganized. And so no money's changed hands. It's not like anybody's getting scammed, but it's just unorganized, right? So we think we should be able to go get them early this afternoon while Carmen and Charlotte went off to the birthday party. And he hasn't even cut 2 of the boars yet, and then is concerned about cutting them today and then getting down the road. And we're like, well, we'll just squirt some Dettol and some red coat on there, and they'll be fine. And they will be fine. They'd be all right. But anyways, unorganized people leads to, you know, you're just kind of in a holding pattern, right? So your ability to be efficient and effective with your day is kind of limited. But anyway, so we got the chicken house prepped. Like I said, dry shavings, got the heat lamps on. We're going to get it preheated, because of good insulated building. But I mean, I can get the air temperature up to a certain temperature, but even just the walls and you know, the roofs and all this stuff all acts as a heat sink essentially, right? So I want to get the whole building warmed up to the point where it's all about 30 degrees Celsius, and then that'll be a success. Now we got, I think, about 25, I don't even remember how many we ordered, 25 layer hens that are coming, chicks, that are coming, and then 10 turkeys or something like that are coming. We're going to try our darndest to keep them alive, and we've had no success, certainly no success here doing that previously. And the thing is, what we're going to do here is we're going to put turkeys and chickens together, because turkeys are just so stupid that they will literally, and I think that's what happened last year, is they starved to death 6 inches from the food, because they just didn't know, right? I mean, they're the same species that would just look up in a rainstorm and drown to death. So we're going to keep the turkeys and the chickens in one spot, so that hopefully, they can kind of learn from each other what, what's required to survive. We're going to dip their beaks in the water and dip their beaks in food and do all that stuff that we would typically do for the chickens anyways. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even really know what the allure is with turkeys, to be honest, because they're so dumb. They're expensive. They cost a lot to raise. They have a high mortality rate. And when you're done, I mean, do you really get the value out of the meat? The meat's not even all that good, but it is lean protein, I guess. It depends what you're looking for. For me, it's a challenge that I did not succeed at previously, and it's a challenge that I'm determined to succeed at in the future. And hopefully this year's the year we can get that. We can say, yes, we did 10 turkeys. I don't know how many are going to survive. Hopefully lots, and then I'll never have to do it again. Anyways, I'm just heading over to the barn here now to check on that ewe that lambed there yesterday. I tagged and banded that lamb, and then I intended to just keep him in the barn. But she was so spicy that she was determined to get out. And I'm like, you know what? It's going to be a beautiful day. I'll let him get some sunshine, and I'll pop out 2 or 3 times. We'll keep an eye on him. But I don't know what's going on with the weather. I feel like I'm a pretty smart guy when it comes to being able to predict the weather. But right now, every 15 minutes or so, the wind is swinging from the east across the south into the west and back, and it's oscillating back and forth. And so the only thing I can think of that would cause that is a little bit of air pressure instability. So maybe we'll get a little bit of a storm here later on, or certainly some heavy cloud buildup. But right now, there's hardly a cloud in the sky. Like, yeah, if you look around, it's just blue. But anyway, let's go see if we can find the baby lamb. Here's Mama right there. Her baby, and then the one that was born a couple days ago. We decided to name that ewe Clementine. We needed a CU, so try to give them all old lady names. Clementine was the oldest old lady name I could think of. Seems everybody's doing good though, so that's good. This tractor too, I've been eyeballing this the last couple of days as the weather starts to smarten up. Be a good time to get it out, get it outside. Maybe get to using it a lot again. But I do have a flat tire, so I'll have to run and get the air compressor. I got power in here, but I don't know if I got quite. It's a long run of an extension cord, and I don't know if I got enough jam to power that air compressor. And I'm guessing I got a dead battery, so I'll work on that first. I'll get the battery charger over, get the battery charged up. Once I know it can start and run, then I'll worry about pumping up the tire. I guess just to make it interesting, I brought the battery charger over just to make it interesting, because it's been parked in here all winter long and it's still got gas in it. And I put that fuel additive, seafoam or whatever that's called. So let's just see if maybe it'll turn over. Not quite enough. Almost though. I'll give it that. That's pretty impressive for sitting out here. 35, 40 below all winter long, never turning a wheel. We'll throw the charger on. I'll come back in an hour. I bet you this baby will spark right up. Anyways, with the trickle charger away on its mission to charge up the battery there, I'm in the house and I'm running into the utility room here because I'm having a problem with the outside tap. So this is where all our water lines come in. You can see there's a lot going on there, right? But the outside water tap, for some reason, when you turn the knob, nothing happens. There's no water flow. But the valve itself feels perfectly normal. And so it's like, okay, nothing's snapped off. There should be nothing plugged up. And I just wanted to come up over here and check that there wasn't an isolation valve somewhere that I wasn't aware of. So like we've got these ones here and here. These are for, actually this is for the baby room, because when we built the house, it wasn't intended to be a baby room. It was intended to be an upstairs laundry room. We thought we were going to be genius and have an upstairs main floor laundry room. And so that when we got
old and decrepit, we wouldn't have to come downstairs and do laundry like lots of people do. So that was a master stroke for us. But anyways, we found out that Carmen was pregnant halfway through building the house, and we thought, well, we'll keep the lines in, and we'll shut the water off to there. And then when the kids are all grown up and we're, the knees are getting a little bit stiff and whatnot, well, then we'll reactivate that, and we will use that baby room as the laundry room. But I don't think there's any more isolation valves in there. So I just wanted to shine a flashlight up in there, up in the rim joist, and just look at where that water line comes through to see if there was another valve that maybe a guy forgot. But I don't see anything up there. But you never know, maybe in the fall I might have shut something off on the inside of the house that I can't quite remember. Well, I had to look all up in there and confirm there's no valves there. And I traced that whole water line right down to here. It says, tough to see there, but HB hose bib. Yeah, no valve. So there's only two things I can think of that would cause that. So one is, there's three things. Technically, if there's an obstruction in the valve, right? That's not likely. The other one is maybe something's messed up with the vacuum breaker. So the day when I went to check it out, I popped the top off the vacuum breaker and there didn't appear to be any issues with it. So something internally is a little bit screwy. Now, if I go to the hardware store today, I could buy a whole new hose bib, a whole new valve assembly, essentially. But you can see how much room I'm working with there between the drywall and that floor joist. I got about 1.75 inches to get in there with 2 pipe wrenches and 2 hands to unthread that. Not an easy task. Not an easy task at all, considering my hands are bigger than that. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try and get the serial number off that hose bib from the outside and see if I can order parts for it, or if I can't get parts for it, just order a new one and disassemble it and take parts out of a new one and put it in, because that is hard to get to. Let me tell you, you always think about that with cars and oil filters and how they engineer things to construct them, but they don't engineer things to work on them well. Here we are with the same damn problem in the house. All right, so I've had the old smart charger on for about 20 minutes, thereabouts. Let's see if she goes. Oh, like a kitten. Purring away like a kitten.